Hey, welcome back. So we left off talking about creating students accounts or inviting students, and I'm going to go ahead and just leave this portion for part three. In this particular segment, I would like to focus in on just adjusting your settings, sort of defining the look and feel of your class. Now, we chose social studies, or I chose social studies, and I typed it up here. And I want to just point out that this banner area, that's what this is called, the banner. You can see the title of the class, the section number. There's also the class code that can be used. And notice that you can just click on the broken square there, and you'll see it full screen in case you want kids to sort of sign up using their mobile device, so you're in a face-to-face situation. Um, and then there's also the Meet link, which we will really spend a lot more time on in a different module. Now, before we go any further, I want you to notice that you can come over here to the right hand side and you can actually upload a photo. If you have a photo that you want to use that sort of captures social studies, just be aware that you won't be able to upload the whole photo. I mean, you'll be able to put the photo in, but only a small portion of it is going to be made into a part of the banner. So there are a lot of websites that talk a little bit about how to create a banner for Google Classroom. I'm not going to go into it here. I will provide some of the resources later so that you can access those. But you can click on Select Theme and quickly find themes that are organized in general, English and history. There's the one we're using right now, as well as others, geography, U.S. history, etc. So it's just up to you what sort of look you want to go for. But again, I'm probably not going to spend too much time on this. What you do want to end up doing is being a little distinctive from what someone else might choose for theirs. Presumably, you're the only one teaching social studies, so that's that. Now, so selecting the banner, showing the class code are two of the things. Now, one of the cool things that we see right here, right off the bat, is Stream. Now, we mentioned these four tabs across the top are a way that Google Classroom organizes your experience and your students' experience in looking at this. So as you can see here, the expectation for the stream is that you are sharing something with your class and you can respond to student posts. Now, in a moment, we're going to look at the settings and you'll be able to see how you can adjust whether students can even post or not. But it's nice to have this idea that you can come in and just quickly post something. And notice that if we had more than one student enrolled in this particular class, we could go in and select those students. The list of students would actually drop down here, and you'd be able to put a checkbox into there and not send an announcement to all students. So it's just you need to be careful with that, of course, because sometimes some people might think they're sending something to one student or two students, and then they end up sending it to all. Again, up to you as to how you want that workflow. Now you can also add things to share. So if you have some kind of document or a really awesome video that you want to include from YouTube, you can do that. So you can just click on YouTube and do a quick search. So for example, if I wanted to share his World History Basics, I could come in here and you'll see that there's different choices. World War I, Summary of the Great War. If I wanted to grab that one and click Add, it would do that. And I could say, check this video out. We'll be discussing it in class over the next week. Probably not going to be discussing an 8 or 9 minute video for the week, but again, just for fun. Now, what's kind of cool is that when you come down here to post, in the bottom right hand corner, you'll be able to post immediately, or you can actually schedule this, or if you want to go out and add some more information, maybe you wanted to work on a Google Doc that would help them respond or reflect on the content of this video, you can just click on Save Draft, go do that work, and then come back. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on Post. So it's posted immediately, and you can see that the time is immediately shared, and it is 11:07. So now this is in my stream, and students are able to see that. Now, you can control the amount of participation that students have. You can come up here to your settings, or it's called a gear cog or a gear, whatever you want to call it. Just come up to the top right hand corner and click on that gear, and as you can see, you will be able to again modify your class details from the class name all the way down to class description, section, room number, etc. Notice that your class code is there, so if you wanted to, for whatever the reason, reset it, you can do that, and it will reset. And you want to reset it to something, again, that maybe your students haven't shared with others. You don't want anybody crashing your class. Or if you want to, you can just disable that class code. Now that you know that all your students are enrolled, you don't need to have that class code displayed, so you can choose to disable it. For the stream, remember we were talking about whether students can post and comment. This is where you really can decide that. You can come to the stream and go, students can post or comment, they can only comment, or only teachers can post or comment. So that would be you and your co-teacher would be the only ones allowed to work on that. Also, classwork on the stream, you can choose if you post classwork, and that's one of the other tabs that we'll take a look at. You can decide whether you want that to show up in its entirety in condensed mode, or hide the notifications because you just don't want that sort of clouding things up. You want everything to sort of stick in the classwork area. So I'm going to just hide notifications on that, but it's really up to you and a matter of preference. You can also show deleted items, but only teachers can see that. So that's maybe something that you want to take a look at. For guardian summaries, guardians are really your parents or guardians, and when they have access to Google Classroom, this is what they would see. So if you were to click on that See Example, it's actually going to give you a bunch of background information about that. So guardian email summaries include missing work that's late at the time the email was sent, upcoming work that's due today and tomorrow, or any class activity, announcements, assignments, and questions that have been posted by teachers. So these email summaries are turned off, and so if you want to turn them on, you can click on that link, and it actually tells you how to do that. It says you can only add guardians for students using Classroom with a G Suite account. And as you can see down here, you must use Classroom on a web browser or the Android app. You have to verify that your teacher, your administrator must give you permission to manage guardian email summaries. And then it sort of walks you through how to do that. And as again, you can see there's the settings, and you can add class to guardian email summaries. So this is already turned on, so guardians are able to see this, and that means that any guardians would get email summaries. We're going to come back to this Google Meet, but I want you to notice that Meet is now a part of Google Classroom, and you can actually generate a Meet link, and you can decide whether you want that to be visible to students or not. We'll come back to that later as part of a different module. Now, I mentioned establishing grade categories, and if you haven't done that, you can definitely come in and set up grades. You have several options for doing that. You can do total points or weighted by category. This is really up to you. Some people have a different grade book. They may not want to take advantage of this, but others may want to help use that with students. Now you can see where it says show overall grade to students. You can flip that on, and now students will be able to see that, and then you can come in and you can add some grade categories. So if I wanted to add grade categories, I can easily do my standard classwork, um, and then homework, and then projects, and oops, there we go. Sorry, math is not my strong point here. But chances are these grade categories are going to be set up for you already through your school district. Maybe you've already decided on what those will be. Again, you don't have to do it weighted by category. You do have the total points option, or you can choose to do no overall grades if you don't even want to handle grades altogether. When you're done, go ahead and click Save, and you're back here. Thanks for watching this portion.